Hi everybody, I'm Jay Fenichel. This week I'd like to continue with our traditional grip lesson that we started last week. Last week we talked about how to hold the stick and how to find the right position. This week I'd like to get a little bit more into the mechanics and how to develop the actual grip. Alright, so now looking at it from this angle, you can see I have my thumb over here, I have this nice and open, my fulcrum is sitting right here, I have my ring finger underneath, my index finger up on top, my middle finger and my pinky are out of it, and then I just relax my fingers and bring them in. So now my pinky and my middle finger aren't really doing much, they're just kind of relaxing, they're hanging out there. So the real focus of the grip is going to be the balance of your ring finger, your index finger on top, your fulcrum in the back. And that's where we're going to drive the stick. Now that's the way you're going to hold the stick when the grip looks natural. But that's not how we're going to start off. We're not going to start that way. The way I want to start, once again, is going back to the fulcrum. So releasing your stick, come back to the fulcrum. What I want you to try to do is find this. Now if you notice, I'm just twisting my wrist. Now what I'm talking about is, can you see that fulcrum? How the stick is curving around as it continues this curve that's coming in between my elbow all the way to the center of the drum. I have a nice curve. What you don't want is this, which is a 90-degree angle. Okay? We want to try to keep this curve in this forward position. That's naturally where the stick falls. You also notice it works really nice with your other hand. They sit in the same position. So once you have this, I want you just to try to twist your wrist and try to drive the stick. Now it's going to want to do this and create this 90-degree angle. I don't want you to do that. I want you to try to force the stick, relax, and try to keep it at this 45-degree angle. Now if you notice, my thumb is on top of the stick and kind of giving slight pressure, pushing down slightly to drive the stick. So obviously if I take my thumb off of it, I get that. But if I keep my thumb giving slight downward pressure and a little twist in my wrist, I get the stick moving back and forth. Now to find this motion, what I do with my students is I have them turn the doorknob, and that's what I call it. What you're going to do is pretend that you're grabbing a doorknob, just like this, and you're twisting back and forth. Twist, 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 twist. Now I'm exaggerating. You actually don't want to bring your elbow out. You want to keep your elbow not locked, but relaxed, and then twist. So try to put your thumb underneath and on top, and practice turning that doorknob back and forth. Turn the doorknob. And you can actually hold this. This is actually a good thing to put on a timer and hold for a solid minute. Maybe 2 minutes, maybe 5 minutes. And you can even do it in time. And practice going down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, twist, 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 twist. Either way. Now I'm doing the eighth notes there. And if you do this long enough, you'll actually feel a burn in your wrist, especially if you're not used to it. It's going to be very awkward because remember, this is your weak hand. So you're developing this twisting gear that really isn't used very often. So if you're not used to it, it's going to feel very, very awkward. But I want you to sit there and practice just turning that doorknob over and over again until it feels nice and relaxed. Then come back, get the stick in your fulcrum. Now if you notice the turning motion or twisting motion, it's not nearly as pronounced. When I take away the stick, I'm really exaggerating it. And you want to over-exaggerate it as you develop it, but of course when the stick's in your hand, the stick will tell you how much you need to twist to feel that rebound. Now you also notice I'm rebounding, I'm letting that stick bounce. It goes back to our full stroke lesson. So I'm thinking down, the stick is bouncing the rest of the way up. So if you don't have a good idea of the full stroke and how to get that rebound, this is going to be a very tough thing to do. We're also practicing this like a dribble, like you're dribbling a basketball. And you're going through and trying to find that. Once we start finding that, and we get that stick to move, then I work on putting my fingers back in that place that we just discussed. I get my ring finger underneath, I get my index finger on top, I relax my other fingers, and I have this nice little claw grip that I got going on, and I practice everything moving. Now remember, my middle finger and my pinky are out of it. They're not really doing anything there. And the more you take that away, the more you're relying on just that thumb to do everything. And there's times in traditional grip where that's what happens. Pretty much it goes down to the thumb. If I'm doing fast single strokes, there's times where I'll just bring it down to that thumb if I want to get a little bit more power out of it. Then there's times where I'll actually use my index finger to push down. So basically I get my fulcrum and my index finger pushes down on the stick. You could also develop your middle finger pushing down, or your ring finger, or your pinky. So you could sit there and get into all those different exercises to try to get the balance between all your fingers. But ideally, your index finger is going to run the show when it comes down to it. That's going to wrap up part 2 of our traditional grip lesson. Join us next time as we talk about the pros and cons of traditional grip and how it applies to the modern drum set.